we go to a dramatic break in the case of Sabrina Aisenberg, an infant in Florida who's been missing since 1997.
Come on, you pretty girl.
It's been almost 11 years since 5-month-old Sabrina Aisenberg disappeared from her Florida home just days before Thanksgiving. Her parents claimed someone took their daughter from her crib in the middle of the night. They pleaded for her return.
I'm begging that person to please bring our baby back to us. She needs her mother and her father.
Sabrina's father told investigators his daughter was fine when he checked on her just before going to sleep. The next morning, she was gone.
And she knows who we are. She knows her mommy. She knows her daddy. She knows her sister, Monica, and her brother, William. And we all miss her and love her very much. And we need her to come home to us, please.
An intense search began, which included divers checking bodies of water near the Aisenbergs' home, but the searches turned up nothing. Meanwhile, investigators became troubled by what they considered inconsistent statements made by the Aisenbergs. Detectives got court approval to plant electronic bugs in the couple's home and secretly recorded more than 60 conversations. The couple was indicted on conspiracy charges and lying to investigators, but a federal judge dismissed the charges after declaring the wiretaps inaudible. Now, a possible break in the case. The St. Petersburg Times reported over the weekend that sheriff's investigators may now be focusing on this man, 44-year-old Scott OVERBECK, who's been serving prison time on unrelated federal charges. The newspaper says authorities had Dennis Byron, a fellow inmate, wear a wire and get OVERBECK to tell what he knew about Sabrina's disappearance. According to those conversations, OVERBECK is said to have been asked to dispose of the infant's body, which he says was inside a boat he had retrieved from the Aisenbergs' home. Joining us now are CBS News legal analysts Lisa Bloom and Mickey Sherman. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
First off, how reliable, how credible is a jailhouse snitch, Mickey?
Sometimes they are credible. I mean, it's not like a broad brush, but you got to go case by case. Don't forget, they got something in this race. There's a dog in the race for them. They want something out of it. They're giving information generally not because they're the greatest citizens in the world, but because they want time off their sentence. They want one of their cases to be thrown out. They want something. Maybe they just want the fame or the notoriety. Maybe they just want to get back at somebody. You have to be very skeptical when listening to a jailhouse snitch.
Will they clean up? We saw their pictures. Will they clean up these guys when they put them in court if it comes to that, Lisa?
Sure. OVERBECK, when he comes to testify, he'll be clean shaved. He'll have a nice haircut. He'll put on a nice suit. But without some corroboration, there's not going to be enough here to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. This guy is an accused felon. He's an alleged drug dealer. And don't forget this family, and it all goes back to the family if you believe OVERBECK's story. They've not only been exonerated already, they've won a multi-million-dollar malicious prosecution case against this local prosecutor. So this is not enough standing alone together.
So why would this come 11 years later?
Because they're desperate. We love to solve these cold cases. The prosecutors love to solve the cold cases. The victims want closure. Everyone wants these cases to be solved. But when you have the answer being from some guy who's been sitting in jail, I mean, why didn't he come forward before?
Exactly.
That's always the big question. Why wait till now to deliver justice?
Well, if you ask the Aisenbergs' attorney, Barry Cohen, he'll tell you it's because the detectives put him up to it to implicate the family and to implicate even him. Do you think they'll ever link anything to the family and his attorney?
I think it's highly unlikely, and the local prosecutors have already released a statement saying Barry Cohen is not a suspect, not a person of interest, so it's clear he's being aggressive in protecting his good name. Look, there may be something here. I mean, this man says he smelled the odor of decomposition on a boat, but 11 years later, without more corroboration, there's just not going to be enough.
So what do you do if you're prosecutors now?
You try and exercise some reasonable discretion. You don't want to put yourself in a Mike Nifong situation where you're ignoring evidence that's going to exculpate somebody. You just do what's right. It's very simple. Be dictated by common sense and not some kind of a rush to judgment and not some reason that's not based on common sense.
And there's enough for further investigation. The sheriffs are continuing to investigate. If they can get some corroboration, then they have something, so they need to continue to dig.
Yeah, everyone wants to find out what happened to that.
Absolutely.
All right, Lisa, Mickey, thank you both.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.